Listen to Sergio Sanchez every morning on News Talk 710 KURV and on the Radio Parami app. Stay informed with exclusive interviews from top local and state leaders, plus economic development news, business, and medical reports, and all the local news from the RGV. It's everything you need to know to start your day right. Sergio Sanchez and News Talk 710 KURV on the free Radio Parami app. Download it now.
Missile strikes have killed at least 31 people.
Pakistan's Prime Minister calls it an act of war. India says it's hit 9 locations housing terrorist infrastructure in Pakistan and Pakistan-controlled Kashmir. In response, cross-border shelling, which according to the Indian militaries resulted in several civilian deaths. Pakistan claims to have shot down a number of Indian fighter jets.
Fox's Jonathan Savage. President Trump says he hopes the conflict ends quickly. Former President Biden's taking a swipe at his successor, telling BBC in his first interview since leaving office that Trump attempts to retake the Panama Canal and take control of Greenland and make Canada a U.S. state have led Europeans to distrust the U.S. Today is the day the mandate to have a real ID goes into effect for people to board an airplane or get into some federal buildings.
Real ID is part of a law passed by Congress 20 years ago, though the Department of Homeland Security saying extra steps and a valid passport will also work for now in order to fly for those who haven't yet been able to get the real ID.
Jeff Manasso, America's listening to Fox News.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
They told us nothing but lies.
These timeshare thieves out there are terrible.
They bullied us.
Our timeshare is all a scam.
They stole from us. They were thieves.
I was completely taken advantage of.
Hello, I'm Chuck McDowell, founder and CEO of Wesley Financial Group, and I know the tough spot you're in. Are you asking yourself, why did I buy that timeshare? I'll tell you why, because that presentation wasn't a normal sales pitch. It was a show to convince you that timeshare is a great investment. They told you it was available today and today only. They said you're foolish if you don't buy, and unfortunately, you believed them. We get over 3,000 complaints a week from folks just like you that were misled into buying a timeshare. Give us a call. I guarantee you, if we take you as a client, we will cancel your timeshare or you'll pay nothing.
Call now for your free information kit. 800-881-4242. 800-881-4242. 800-881-4242.
The U.S. is going to hold talks with China this weekend in Switzerland amid a trade war with high tariffs. This after Canada's leader went to the White House.
Regardless of anything, President Trump says the U.S. will be friends with Canada.
I love Canada. I have a lot of respect for the Canadians. Wayne Gretzky. I mean, how good, the great one.
The president says he also has great respect for Canada's newly elected Prime Minister, Mark Carney, but still believes Canada is better off a U.S. state.
It's not for sale, won't be for sale ever, but the opportunity is in the partnership.
President Trump's response?
Never say never. Never say never.
The two leaders did not strike a deal yet on lowering a 25% tariff rate on Canadian imports to the U.S. At the White House, Jared Halpern, Fox News.
Federal Reserve policymakers will gather for a second day assessing the economy. And then this afternoon comes an announcement on interest rates. No cut is expected despite President Trump calling for one. On Wall Street, ahead of the Fed decision, stock futures are rising nearly 300 points for the Dow the day after selling. In the NBA playoffs, another big comeback.
The Pacers trailed the Cavaliers in Game 2 in Cleveland by as many as 20 points. Indiana was down 9 with under 50 seconds left. Yet the Pacers managed to win.
Halliburton steps back and hits. Tyrese Halliburton trying to take Cleveland's heart.
On TNT, the Pacers beat the Cavaliers 120-119 to take a commanding 2-0 lead against the number 1 seed of the Eastern Conference. The series now goes to Indiana for the next 2 games. The road team won the other NBA game last night. First 4 games of the second round, the home teams are 0-4. Minnesota Timberwolves beaten at home by the Golden State Warriors 99-88.
That's Fox's Jared Max in the NHL playoffs. Carolina beat Washington in overtime to start that series. Edmonton top Vegas 4-2 in their opening game. I'm Dave Anthony. This is Fox News.
News Talk 710 KURV, broadcasting from the Valley's All-American Truck Headquarters studio at PayneAutomall.com.
Happy Wednesday. It is May 7th, 2025. You're in tune with the Valley's Morning News. It's News Radio for South Texas. Show producer Fred Cruz. I'm Sergio Sanchez, along with AccuWeather meteorologist Jeffrey Norton. He's on standby. So The rapidly expanding campus at SpaceX in the new town of Starbase, Texas. They might be allowed by the Federal Aviation Administration to launch up to 25 missions a year from Cameron County. There's a new FAA report released this week saying that an increase in launches and related activity at Boca Chica by SpaceX will not have a significant environmental impact. So the FAA may soon allow SpaceX to increase the number of launches at the new city Starbase. Texas Senate will consider legislation to make illegal immigrants ineligible for in-state college tuition. Previously eligible students would be required to pay the difference between in-state and out-of-state. The senator who's authoring the legislation saying that in-state tuition for illegal immigrants costs taxpayers $150 million the academic year in Texas. Other education-related news, public school teachers who talk to students about gender transition could face prosecution under legislation being considered in Austin.
Fort Worth State Rep Nate Schatzline authored House Bill 1655. It's designed to ensure that public school employees are prohibited from assisting in the social transitioning of any student.
That means not changing names or pronouns, not hiding information from parents, and not perpetuating mental illness and leading children down a path that could lead to irreversible harm.
Democrats on the House Public Education Committee argued the bill was too vague with no specific definition for assisting social transitioning. State Rep Gina Enosa.
Do you have a consequence in your bill?
It gives the Attorney General prosecutorial authority.
Teachers again. I see.
Also, schools found guilty by the Attorney General could lose all state funding. In Austin, Chris Fox, News Talk 710 KURV.
Other education-related news from Austin, putting the failures of communism into perspective, the focus of some state lawmakers, and they want to make sure a new generation of students learn proper history.
There's now growing support for a bill that mandates the teaching about the evils of communism in history classes. State Rep Jeff Leach says kids will be taught about the oppression that happens under a communist regime.
Paired with a comparison to American principles preventing ideological indoctrination.
His bill orders the State Board of Education to include a comprehensive education on the history, tactics, and consequences of communism. It would start in fourth grade. It's already passed in the state Senate, where Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick made it a priority issue.
And this note from D.C., Texas lawmakers trying to get reimbursement for $11 billion spent by the state of Texas when it came to southern border security during the Biden administration. The chief of Homeland Security, Kristi Noem, complimenting Texas.
It's been incredible, the partnership that Texas has put together with the federal government and how they stepped up when the Biden administration did not secure our border. Texas filled the gap.
The time is 7:08 on News Talk 710 KURV. It is Accu with the time, and I want to say thank you to Dougie and all the gang over at Martin Farm and Ranch. It's going to be a scorcher, not right now, but at some point it will be a scorcher, 100 plus around here. So make sure that your cattle have Purina liquid feed. Martin Farm and Ranch is a certified dealer for Purina liquid feed and all Purina feed. That's Martin Farm and Ranch. Say hi to Dougie if you stop by. AccuWeather meteorologist Jeffrey Nordy joining us. Let's check the travel forecast. Anybody said headed to Central Texas up in San Antonio or Houston? What's going on, Jeffrey?
San Antonio's fine. Clouds and sun, upper 80s. Houston, shower early in the day, but for the most part, those are going to taper off. And then tomorrow, another round of light showers and thunderstorms expected. Temps will be in the mid to upper 80s. All the way up to Dallas, it's partly cloudy to almost mostly cloudy. Temps in the mid to upper 70s today and tomorrow.
You're going to keep the cloud cover for us for a few more days?
I can keep it for at least, let's see here, today and tomorrow. And then after that, we're going to have clear skies, sunshine, and temperatures will be generally mid to upper 80s, low 90s until next week. Next week, we're looking at low to upper 90s pretty much every single day.
Okay. Well, just in time for the big cultural food and music festival in McAllen for the weekend.
Oh, there you go.
You're clearing up the skies for the weekend, so that's good. We'll talk about MXLAN here in just a little bit. The long-range forecast, again, like you said, looking good. At least you can keep the triple digits away for a while.
For now.
At some point, you're not going to need to look at the tropics. Are things a little cooler in the water? out there for
well, we can already start discussing the tropics. We have a outlook coming up for next week across the Caribbean and into Pacific over Honduras. A low potential of development, but May 15th through 22nd is the window of opportunity.
All right, pal. Thanks for the update. I didn't see any food stuff on the menu.
I saw a supercharged day, so get a supercharged coffee.
Oh, okay.
Extra caffeine.
No, it's okay. I'll drink I'll drink like 3 or 4 cups in the morning, so I don't need the double shot, triple shot.
But you should just have the one, and you don't need 3 or 4.
No. No, I'm afraid I'll be calling 911.
Yeah.
If that's the case. All right, pal. We'll talk to you next hour. AccuWeather meteorologist Jeffrey Nordy on 710 KURV, and that is your AccuWeather forecast, again presented by Dougie and all the gang at Martin Farm and Ranch. Yeah, we'll be talking about MXLAN in just a little bit. Also, take a look at some of the economic numbers for the McAllen metro area, and also some of the prospecting going on with economic development. We have our friend Elizabeth Suarez in the studio, so join us. Hey, 710 KURV is live 7 o'clock hour on X, 710 KURV, Facebook, YouTube. Did I forget anything, Fred? That's it. Also, Radio Para Mi. Don't forget the free app. The Trump administration might begin deporting illegal immigrants to Libya. That's according to several reports indicate deportation flights could begin as early as this week. The flight's expected to be operated by the U.S. military, and it's not clear which illegals would be deported to Libya or what would happen upon arrival. Back to the U.S., Latino Hispanic consumers appear to be cutting back on their grocery spending. During a recent earnings call, executives have reported a slowdown in North American sales from Hispanic shoppers, and according to a market research firm, Circana, Hispanic Americans spend more on consumer packaged goods and outpace non-Hispanic consumers overall. It's 7:13 on the Valley's Morning News. The U.S. trade deficit hitting a record in the month of March. As you guessed it, companies were running to the door trying to import as many goods to the U.S. as possible.
Government figures show the trade gap rose by 14% to more than $140 billion for the month. The larger than expected jump comes as businesses rush to lock in cheaper prices on foreign products before the start of the White House tariffs. So far this year, the trade deficit has spiked more than 90% compared to the same period in 2024. I'm Tammy Trujillo.
Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent and a trade negotiator are headed to Switzerland. Oh, that's beautiful. Headed to Switzerland to speak with Chinese counterparts to talk about trade and, yes, tariffs.
China's Ministry of Commerce said in a statement that the U.S. should show sincerity in the talks, correct wrong practices, and resolve the concerns of both sides through equal consultation. The ministry added that China agreed to engage with the U.S. after evaluation of calls from the American side and China's own interests, but it also warned the U.S. to not use talks as a cover for coercion and blackmail. U.S. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent said in an interview on Fox News that the talks on Saturday and Sunday will center on de-escalation rather than a big trade deal, and that the two sides needed to de-escalate before they move forward. Laura Westbrook, Hong Kong.
40% less product and higher prices. Comments from Mattel. Yeah, as far as toys for this coming Christmas. Thanks to tariffs. We'll talk about tariffs. We'll talk about reaction to tariffs, local market, look at the economy. Also, look ahead to the weekend. MXLAN here in McAllen. Elizabeth Suarez, the chief at the Chamber of Commerce in McAllen. Also, economic development efforts for McAllen. Next on the Valley's Morning News.
Need to hire quality candidates fast? You need Indeed. Our video interview tool makes it easy and effortless to meet with candidates. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
Attention all cattle ranchers. Martin Farm and Ranch Supply, the Valley's premier Purina feed dealer, is here to tell you all about the labor-saving benefits of Purina AccuRation liquid feed. With 34% protein and 5% fat, it delivers. Let us show you the cost benefits of the most sustained supplement on the market and get a free bag of mineral with your purchase. Limited time only.
Martin Farm and Ranch Supply, your premier Purina feed dealer. Just ask the horse.
Hess Fitness Products. They have the largest selection of fitness equipment and accessories in McAllen to custom fit you. If it feels good, you will use it. Remember, health is wealth. Exercise is a fountain of youth. There are no magic pills or injections to replace exercise, and with the help of Hess Fitness Products, you can exercise in the safe comfort of your own home. Go to HessFitness.com. That's HessFitness.com. Look better, feel better, do more.
The voice of the next generation of conservatives.
The Charlie Kirk Show, weeknights at 8 on News Talk 710 KURV, KURV.com, and on the Radio Potami app.
It's an afternoon game today for the Astros. Zach and Davis will give you updates on the drive home. They're off tomorrow, and then they play the Reds. We'll be on the road against Cincinnati, broadcast right here on 710 KURV, your station in South Texas for Astros baseball, made possible by Dr. T's Primary Care for Men and Women. Big thank you as well to the Mission Economic Development Office. Economic status report for McAllen and Metro McAllen in the studio, as you can join us on YouTube, X, Facebook Live, 7 o'clock hour. Elizabeth Suarez is the director of the McAllen Chamber. Also, McAllen Economic Development. It's been a few weeks since I've seen you, Liz. I was thinking, oh, man, they put a lot of stress on Liz, running 2 departments. I was thinking she's going to show up with like a lot of white hair. This morning.
There's a fix for that.
That's true. Well, welcome back. Hey, let's start with some of the economic data. You and I were talking a little bit off air about, I'm guessing it's reaction to everybody waiting for the dust to settle on trade and tariffs right now.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think it's the trend line domestically. We're not the only market, but regionally, we are seeing a bit of a mixed economic caution, right? The landscape is a bit cautious. We see some notable declines in cross-border activity and consumer spending, but that's really being offset by really strong housing market and a strong employment market. And so overall, we remain really optimistic. There's a lot of work for both the Chamber and the EDC. When we look at cross-border movement, those northbound numbers, which is what we really track so closely, those are down about 28%.
So Los Fresitas from Monterrey, the shoppers, 28% down, comparing which month to which month?
Looking at this March over last year.
Last March.
Last March.
That's
So
rather significant.
we are seeing a significant change there. In addition to that, we saw a little bit of a slowdown in air traffic enplanements. MFE went down about 2%. Our neighbors down in Harlingen went down about 12% year over year.
Wow.
They also had some weather challenges.
That's true.
So that could be an impact.
How much of that do you think, though, is, individuals, illegal immigrants during the Biden administration, they got the release papers and they took planes out of market? Those numbers have changed radically, I would imagine.
They have been really stable. When you look at employment and deployment, those numbers have been very comparable over the last year or two. So I think that what we saw maybe 4 or 5 years ago was not as drastic as what we had been seeing as of late. But you're right, it's almost completely stabilized recently.
Well, it sounds like on the plane side compared to on the road side, all the traffic coming in, to say that, well, what did you say, like 2% down?
About
for
2%
McAllen?
down for
That's
McAllen.
Not bad.
No, not at all. I think it's a strong market. We continue to see so much growth. And keep in mind that that's still double digits above last year when we look at the overall period. We've got new partners at the table with Delta Airlines and Aeromexico and Volaris. So I think the airport is in good hands. That airport number is almost more important than any other number because it's a real pulse of economic opportunity as we're seeing both leisure and business travel.
Elizabeth Suarez, director of the McAllen Chamber of Commerce, also economic development efforts for McAllen, taking a look at some of the economic data of late. Of course, with the numbers down, headed north from Monterrey, headed this way, I would imagine that does something to hotel, motel tax, the hot tax.
Yeah, the hot tax is down about 19%, and retail sales tax receipts are down about 5%. Again, this is aligned with what we're seeing throughout both of those industries domestically.
The state comptroller reported that we were down 5%.
5%, and this is
retail?
looking at year over year.
Wow. Okay,
so it's a little bit of a
that's
dip.
quite the indicator, the leading indicator. on economic activity for McAllen, especially being the largest retail market.
We continue to be the largest
South
and
Texas.
one of the top 10 fastest growing in the state. And we continue to be really focused, on the chamber side and the EDC side, partnering. If anything, we are more aligned than we've ever been with the city. And the efforts continue to be really focused on what are we doing to push retail and tourism. Events like MXLAN, the holiday parade, those continue to be key assets in our toolkit.
Do you have in response, a more aggressive push to Monterrey and Saltillo, northern Mexico? Say, come over here, come and shop.
Absolutely. And Ike and his team, he's created that international economic development facet, working through Juan Olaguibel. They've been doing a big push in Monterrey, in Querétaro, trying to bring those leads. At the end of the day, our market continues to be so strong. We are the most affordable place to live. We're one of the friendliest in terms of business development, one of the easiest place. I think we've been named as the top place to start a new business in the country. And that's important. We are business friendly. We've got a quality of life that's unparalleled for the cost of living, which is so low. And so we continue to have some key assets in that toolkit to promote McAllen as a place to come visit and to set up your business.
And if you reflect on these reports and these accolades and recognitions by all these travel and business groups, take that and complement it with the amazing news in the Rio Grande Valley overall, with down in Brownsville, with everything, all the jobs, like thousands of jobs and thousands more. And if we talk high tech here, man, they got their own brand of high tech. Of course, Elon Musk driving all this, and there will be feeder industries.
There is,
right,
and that impact.
this.
If you look at overall GDP data, our region has grown, and that is a testament to all of the regional development that we've seen as of late. And even looking back, I started my career in 2000, and thinking about what we would talk about in terms of workforce development and where we are today, being able to land, companies like SpaceX and others. And so I think that there's an opportunity like no other at this time.
Well, other numbers that you're looking at, either construction or home sales or employment, things like that.
The housing market, to offset some of the negative news, the real positive news is the housing market is strong. We saw about a 9.3% increase in the volume of residential sales. Well, that's really good for our area. The average home price rose about 7.9%. I mean, we've got a steady housing market. It's strong. And employment continues to be strong. Non-farm payroll rose by about 2%. That's great year over year. And unemployment is a little bit further down. And so that's good, right under 6%. And so it's a good time in the Valley.
Let me seed something, because this is part of the economic development nerd talk that we have with you, with Rowdy at Edinburgh, with Stephen Westlaco, you name it, Tech Glow, Techno, Tech Yes, Gilbert in Brownsville. I get a sense that now more than ever, we need to unify, lock arms, and work together. Because just looking at the Brownsville numbers this week, I did a monologue yesterday on my program, just looking at their most recent report, my goodness, they and the other stuff that has reported, like they got a refinery, expanding steel operations at a time when manufacturing in this country will be demanding that steel that's coming through here. Yes, I mentioned SpaceX is at 3,500 people. They're going to be well north of that. We got the county judge saying, "Serge, you watch it. You watch it." 6, 7, maybe 10,000 people. They're here to stay. And I mentioned some of the feeder industry. And because manufacturing is so popular now, and we got Joaquin Spalmer out there with Realplex and all the crew trying to capture this industry. Now more than ever, I think it's time for McAllen, Mission, Edinburgh, Wesco, Harlingen, Brownsville. I think we can work together to capture as many of these jobs. The thing is, I'm getting the impression that maybe we're a bit behind the curve, because we need talent, we need people for these thousands of jobs at the port alone. Like, where do you find them? And then ¿dónde los pones? Where do you put them?
No, I think a lot of important work. I will tell you, from the boots on the ground and those of us that do the work, There already is a lot that has been done. We've had tremendous political leaders. I know that people like Jim Darling, Richard Cortez, that have demanded regionalism at every level of city government. And it starts with them. And I think on the economic development side, just having come in recently into a new industry, the support that I've gotten from my peers is important to note. So I think that there's a lot of collaborating that happens on the ground. We get a lead. If that lead does not work in McAllen, we collaborate with the region as best we can. I know Soho is one of those examples. McAllen landed that lead and brought it to this region. We tried so hard to work with them and to accommodate them. It ended up not working out for them.
As far as acreage or HQ or things like that, it was
in
Edinburgh
terms of
gets
acreage.
over at the Echo. But
So they're landing at Edinburgh, but part of their operation will be in McAllen. And the collaboration doesn't stop. It continues because that workforce that they're employing are McAllen residents, or they're coming to visit McAllen, and it's that consumer spending that we're trying to capture. So I think you're right on. The collaboration is essential. We continue to look at an expanding region that is on the map, and we are clearly on the map. We're on the governor's map as they're bringing economic development opportunities to Texas, and we're on the international radar
all
as
of
well.
the EDC chiefs, you guys might need to swing back along with Rioplex and work with the schools in Region 1 and the school district to create that
Absolutely.
pipeline of talent. You last time you were here, which was a few weeks back, small business survey on the impact of tariffs. You're still doing that, right?
We're still doing that. And as the impact is unraveling and as we're experiencing that impact, we're really encouraging, especially our business partners, get onto the Chamber website, take that survey. For us, part of the most important work that we do is advocacy. And so we want to make certain we're in front of that, understanding what that impact is.
10-4. So keep participating over at the McAllen Chamber of Commerce website. Elizabeth Suarez is the director of the McAllen Chamber, also economic development efforts for McAllen this weekend in McAllen. And by the way, stay tuned. We'll give you some tickets to win here on the program. MXLAN, music, food, art, lucha libre, you name it, everything taking place this weekend. But I noticed that on the economic conversation that leads this event, a lot of AI, high-tech conversations. That seems to be the focus. So tell me about that.
So we really want to make certain that our area is workforce ready to take on those opportunities in AI and in tech. As our region is starting to attract more of this type of synergy and more of this type of industry, are we ready? And let's start to have those conversations. We're really excited because we've got some state representation. We've got Aaron Demerson, who's the CEO of the Texas Economic Development Corporation, who's going to come talk to us about what the state is doing to support this industry in areas
stuff,
like
right?
ours,
Okay,
right?
Good.
And then we've got one of the chairman and the commissioner of Texas Workforce, Brian Daniel, who is a Valleyite. He's from San Benito. He's coming back home to talk to us about what Texas Workforce Commission is doing to ensure that Texas workforce is AI compatible and ready, and that pipeline is in place. And then we've got a really cool keynote speaker. His name is Jesus Cochegruz, and he's a techie. So he's going to come talk to us about what we can do, but to be AI ready in terms of our workforce development. But more than that, we've got some really dynamic speakers. We've got speakers talking on cybersecurity. We've got some professors coming in from Stanford also talking about AI and what it is that we need to do to be workforce
Are there any
ready.
seats available for this
There
economic
is.
chat?
Go get your tickets online. You can either visit MEDC's website or the Chamber's website, and you can buy your tickets there.
Yeah, it's worth the price of admission, these economic chats that they have. This is what kicks off MXLAN.
Yes.
And this year it's AI and high-tech focus across the board. Was it like 9 o'clock in the morning till 1 or something
It
like that?
starts
2
at
p.m.?
9, and we're going to keep it short and sweet and interesting. So we'll see you there on Friday.
Yeah, that's right. Look forward. Lord willing, I'll be there at the beginning of the event during the broadcast for the morning news and my program. And real quick, in about 30, 45 seconds, you got a trade mission, right? Going to D.C. here pretty soon?
We're excited.
Yeah.
We're going to be joining the Texas delegation. I know that there's local representatives that will be there. It'll be a great opportunity to really talk about the great quality of life in McAllen.
It's a sales opportunity. What's the name of it? I forget the name.
Select USA.
There we go.
So we're excited. It's my first time in this industry, so I'm excited.
Yeah, we'll wish you great success.
Thank
Thanks for stopping by, Liz.
Thanks.
I know you got a Quite the challenge. We all do.
We
here in
all
South
do.
Texas. It's amazing to see the Times because they're not only knocking at the door, they're trying to knock the door down right now. We're trying to keep up with all this industry. Thank you, Liz. Elizabeth Suarez
Thank you.
with the McAllen Chamber of Commerce, also the Director of Economic Development Issues in McAllen. You're in tune with the Valley's Morning News on Newstalk 710 KURV. Your station for Astros baseball. We'll take a look at sports up next.
Okay, let's get down to business. The Harlingen Economic Development Corporation is holding their Let's Get Down to Business event on Saturday, May 10th from 10 a.m. till 2 p.m. at the Harlingen Convention Center, 701 Harlingen Heights Drive in Harlingen. If you've ever thought about starting or expanding a business in Harlingen, this is your chance to get the answers you need all in one place. Meet and get insights from key departments and organizations to get expert advice on planning and zoning, building inspections, sign permitting, health inspections, fire prevention, and more. You'll also have access to professionals who can help you navigate everything from securing funding to building a strong workforce. Don't miss this one-stop opportunity to kickstart or grow your business in Harlingen. Let's get down to business. Saturday, May 10th from 10 a.m. till 2 p.m. For more information, call 956-216-5081. That's 956-216-5081. The Harlingen Economic Development Corporation.
You pay thousands of dollars in property tax every year, and it just seems to get higher. Well, what if I told you you could potentially reduce what you pay each year significantly, and it would cost you absolutely nothing? Either we make your property tax bill smaller, or you pay us nothing, zero. We're CAD Tax. CAD Tax has successfully been reducing property taxes for years, saving people thousands of dollars, and that reduces your monthly payment to the bank, or it puts money directly into your pocket. Homes, apartments, commercial properties, CAD Tax makes it easy for you. CAD Tax, you pay absolutely nothing unless they win. And when CAD Tax wins, you win. 956-631-SAVE. CAD Tax, a local company where one of their expert staff members will assist you right now. 956-631-SAVE. 631-SAVE.
CAD Tax, CAD Tax, CAD Tax, CAD Tax.
Coming up after the Valley's Morning News, stay tuned for The Sergio Show with Sergio Sanchez, starting at 9, followed by The Dana Show with Dana Lash at 11 on News Talk 710 KURV, KURV.com, and on the Radio Parami app.
The 710 KURV Sports Desk is brought to you by Dr. T's Primary Care for Men and Women.
I'm Trevor Beck with your TSN Sports Minute. Astros just barely got whipped yesterday versus the Brewers, falling 4-3, even with a 3-run seventh inning. But they will try to bounce back later today, game time starting at 12:10. And the Rangers, with a newly shifted offense and a leader in the clubhouse, Brett Boone, they get a big win over the Red Sox, 6-1.
Pitch to Jock is hit deep to right field. Way back goes Abreu, and it is beyond his reach, and that bounces up into the stands. And Jock Peterson picks up the run batted in, only his second of the year, and the Rangers lead 2-0 on a pair of automatic doubles.
Looks like some new coaching will be a positive in the clubhouse. Rangers hope to stay hot again tonight at 5:45. I'm Trevor Beck with your TSN Sports Minute.
Pacers down 7 with under a minute to play, went on an 8-0 run with Tyrese Halliburton hitting a last-second three. Beat the Cavs, take a 2-0 series lead. In the West semis, Steph Curry left in the second quarter with a hamstring injury. Buddy Hield stepped up 24 points to help the Warriors top the Timberwolves. Golden State has a 1-0 series lead. Oilers scored 4 unanswered goals, skate past the Golden Knights, set an NHL playoff record with their 5th straight comeback win. Jacob Slavin scored in overtime. Hurricanes beat the Capitals in Game 1 of the East semis in D.C. That's sports. I'm Ronta Moss.
AccuWeather says highs today, low to mid-90s. So we start the morning temperatures upper 70s. Border Bridge wait times is posted on KURV.com. 35-minute wait time, Hidalgo Bridge. That's the last number we saw, and the only bridge with any traffic. That is for McAllen. For Brownsville, about 30 minutes at B&M, 1 hour. Gateway, same thing at Veterans. Business news check of your money coming up next on Newstalk 710 KURV. The Rio Grande Valley Port of Brownsville is leading. They're the ones who are hosting the economic transformation of the RGV, 30 years plus of broadcasting here in South Texas. For me, it is just mind-blowing, amazing to see the economic prosperity, opportunity, and the renaissance that we experience right now. And at the lead is our port, the Rio Grande Valley Port of Brownsville. Now, just thinking about steel operations, and yesterday's program on my monologue, I was reflecting on all these reports that my friend Georgie over at the port put together in recent newsletters. And hundreds of jobs here, hundreds of jobs worth, but right now, thousands of jobs being hosted. They're making that liquefied natural gas node, which, by the way, cleared its court challenged by a bunch of environmental wackos. Now they've cleared that. They got the green light. Keep going, keep building. Let's go, man. $18+ billion in private sector investment. Thousands of jobs, 3,500, maybe 4,000, and thousands more near future, and another LNG on the way. And steel operations that have expanded exponentially of late, hundreds of jobs. All that steel is going to be feeding into the manufacturing that is coming back to America at light speed. All the steel. You're going to see tonnage go through the atmosphere at the Rio Grande Valley Port of Brownsville. Stay in the know. Keep up with all this amazing news and breaking news from our port, the engine of the economy for South Texas, portofbrownsville.com. Sign up for the free newsletter.
If you're looking to improve your overall health and have a better quality of life, Dr. T's Primary Care is the place to go. If you feel tired or stressed or less motivated, if you're moody or if you have trouble sleeping, Dr. T's Primary Care will evaluate you and work with you to address your health concerns, including testosterone or menopause treatment, peptide treatment, IV vitamin infusions. Their licensed staff will take the time to listen to you and work with you to improve your overall health. Check out the website, drtsprimarycare.com. Give them a call in McAllen at 956-803-0058 in Harlingen, 956-368-5247.
A gentle reminder from the McCaleb clan in Weslaco, my friends, Mark and Carla, a gentle reminder to get it done for your family, for your immediate family. It's what my mom and dad did for me. I'm an only son, and years ago, I want to say about 20 years ago, I think is when we had that sit down, and I was there as they were talking about this. My mom and dad pre-planned and prepaid that funeral event. It's the same thing you do like for life insurance, and you also speak with your financial advisors to align all your assets and protect it and set up this trust and all that stuff. It's necessary primary homework. Think of number one. Think of yourself. Think of your family. By pre-planning and prepaying, it's a very loving thing to do. And I thank God that my mom and dad did this, because when the time came, I needed to focus on my family, my immediate family, myself, and the moment. And just transition through that and not be burdened by all sorts of decisions. And it was a long list of decisions that needed to be made. And of course, there's the expense. So pre-plan, prepay by calling Carla McCaleb, part of the McCaleb family, the McCaleb Funeral Home in Weslaco. And she or a family member will come to you and help you out with a long list, get all that done, and set a prepayment. Be done with it and wait for the Lord to call. Carla McCaleb is at 956-650-2841.
Hi there, my name is Tony Bolstead. My wife and I, Carol, own Sand Monsters. We'd like you to come on out and have fun. We've got a half-mile long track out here. It runs across about 3.5 acres. Have adult cars and kid cars, getting laps in, learning how to drive on the sand. And we also lease space to Redline Helicopters is one of our tenants here, and they've got a pad and they do helicopter tours. Lone Star National Bank and the team there really helped us get this thing put together, answered all our questions, huge help.
I am Stephanie Harrison. I am the second generation owner of Sisters Interiors on South Padre Island. We had always dreamed of owning our own land and owning our own building, using our design team to create what you see here today. That's how we got involved with Lone Star National Bank. We partnered with them and they helped us, create the dream.
Audio streaming on KURV.com. Powered by South Texas Buick GMC, McAllen Mission.
I'm Nicole Murray with Your Money Now. Investors are gearing up for the Fed's interest rate decision slated for today at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. Fed funds futures are pricing in a nearly 97% likelihood that the central bank holds interest rates steady. That's according to CME's FedWatch tool. The Walt Disney Company announced that it has reached an agreement with immersive destination and experiences company Miral to bring a park and resort to Yas Island in the United Arab Emirates. This will be Disney's 7th theme park resort, and it will be fully developed and built by Miral. The Consumer Financial Protection Bureau said it will stop enforcing a Biden-era rule treating buy now, pay later firms like credit card lenders. The agency cited a need to focus on resources on pressing threats to consumers, especially service members, veterans, and small businesses. Futures are moderately higher as U.S.-China trade talks begin. Tuesday, the Dow Industrials lost 389, the NASDAQ down 154. That's Your Money Now.
Everyone escaping to Disney, Freddie. 13% increase in park activity and profits at Disney. Wow. Imagine the summer. AccuWeather says highs today, low to mid-90s. Right now, upper 70s. Fox News coming up in 2 minutes on the Valley's Morning News. Join us at Radio Para Mi. Download that free app. One amazing fact about El Pato. Oh, this fresh, delicious, scrumptious South Texas Mexican food. Our recipes of the RGV expressed daily at every kitchen at El Pato, every El Pato restaurant. One of the amazing facts is despite all the upheaval and turmoil and economic changes, the I word inflation. I'm just blown away how much food that you can get. I stack up the plates. Every now and then, Dilly and I will stack up the plates. You know, it's real convenient. I phone it in. I know the locations here in McAllen and Mission where I stop by and stack up the plates. $5.99 every single day, different special. $5.99 from those delicious yellow cheesy chicken enchiladas, carne guisada, and with the flour tortillas that are so fresh and delicious and smell and so beautiful. And the lettuce and tomato and the cheese and the ranchero beans. The boys and I, we're making our own patos. We get the carne guisada, lettuce and tomato, stack up the beans, all that. It's wonderful. Put some rice in there. And then the red salsita. Taquitos Mexicanos, chicken guisado, the beef, chicken pato with the rice and beans. $5.99. Every plate that I told you, different day of the week, $5.99. That's a lot of food. And the big special right now is the spicy enchiladas verdes with a rice, bean, and drink. And amazing, only $6.99. Only at El Pato.
At Rivetta's Machinery in Donna, they're bringing the best deals on Coyote equipment to your job site, your farm, or your backyard. Right now, take advantage of 0% interest or up to $6,000 cash back on Coyote track loaders and skid steers. These are machines built for maximum performance no matter the task. But don't stop there. They're also offering fantastic savings on Coyote tractors, zero-turn mowers, and utility vehicles. And whether you're hauling something, mowing, tackling other big jobs, Coyote has the equipment to help you get it done. If you're looking for great deals and great service from a team that treats you like family, look no further than Rivetta's Machinery and Coyote. Start your next project right. Visit Rivetta's Machinery in Donna or browse their deals when it suits you at mynewtractor.com. That's their website, mynewtractor.com. Rivetta's for the long haul. See dealer for full details.
When I'm driving, I look twice for motorcycles.
I look twice because motorcycles are easy to miss.
I look twice just in case a motorcycle's in my blind spot.
I look twice at intersections and before I turn left.
I look twice because I want to know for sure.
I look twice for motorcycles because I don't want to hurt anyone.
Look twice for motorcycles. There's a life riding on it. A message from Texas Department of Transportation.
News Talk 710 KURV. News and weather information at your fingertips.
There was only one place to get the information I needed.
Log on to KURV.com.
It's news radio for South Texas from the pulse of South Texas business. The morning news on News Talk 710 KURV. Show producer Fred Cruz. We got AccuWeather meteorologist Jeffrey Nordine. I'm Sergio Sanchez, and we start the morning upper 70s. Highs today should be mid-90s. News on 710 KURV is a service of Edinburgh CISD. Along with UTRGV, their collegiate high school currently enrolling freshmen and sophomore classes. Open enrollment valley-wide. For information, call 956-289-2300.
Fox News, I'm CJ Papa. The Mass for the 133 Catholic Cardinals earlier at St. Peter's Basilica will soon be sequestered inside Sistine Chapel until the group elects a new pope. Cardinal Giovanni Battista Re is Dean of the College of Cardinals and runs the election of the pontiff.
Let us pray that the Holy Spirit, who in the last 100 years has given us a series of truly holy and great pontiffs, will give us a new pope according to God's heart for the good of the church and of humanity.
The cardinal through an interpreter just ahead of the conclave. President Trump teasing a big reveal.
We're going to have a very, very big announcement to make.
That's when he travels next week to Saudi Arabia, the United Arab Emirates, and Qatar. America's listening to Fox News.
Federal Aviation Administration in a report released this week saying that increased activity, including launches at Boca Chica Beach, will not have a significant environmental impact. So with this report, the Federal Aviation Administration might be soon allowing SpaceX to increase the number of launches yearly to up to 25. In Austin, a group of lawmakers has agreed to a tax cut package that would increase tax breaks for homeowners, provide some bigger cuts for older and disabled Texans who own homes, also increase an exemption for a tax that all businesses have to pay in Texas.
It is called the state inventory tax. Every business in Texas pays it, including grocery stores, based on the stock that they have on their shelves, their back rooms, and their warehouses. Now, most Texans don't see it, but they probably feel it in the prices they pay, because this tax is also applied to perishable necessities like eggs, produce, dairy, meat, and even refrigerated medications that don't spend a lot of time on shelves but are still taxed. That is why a coalition of retailers, grocers, and industry groups are rallying behind two bills in the legislature authored by lawmakers, mostly from DFW, on both sides of the aisle.
This is the Valley's Morning News on News Talk 710 KURV. We invite you to join us at our free app. That way you can listen to the morning news. We got my talk show at 9 o'clock. We got Zach and Davis at 4 p.m., Dana at noon, Brian Kilmeade at 2 p.m. Listen to all the talk shows. You miss anything? And don't forget my buddy, Michael Burr, 6 p.m. Tune into all the talk shows and the news throughout the day at Radio Panamí. Download the free app. Kubota Orange Days at Amigo Power Equipment. That's where my friend JP, who's a proud Aggie, that's the only time he's very proud to wear orange, because of Kubota. That's Kubota. Orange is the color of Kubota. And as a dealer that has, Amigo Power Equipment in Edinburgh, Monte Cristo, is a dealer that has factory-trained Kubota pros and will help you match whatever it is that you need to do at the ranch and at the lease with the equipment that they have, whether it's the tractors, zero-turn mowers, some of the attachments for these tractors, move some earth, maybe chop up stuff. Yeah, Amigo Power Equipment in Edinburgh, celebrating Kubota and Kubota Orange Days, which means for you big savings and great financing opportunities as well. Amigo Power Equipment in Edinburgh on Monte Cristo is your local Kubota dealer, and enjoy the big savings right now during Kubota Orange Days. With the factory-trained experts going to help you find the equipment that you need. Orange Days financing, Orange Days savings available at Amigo Power Equipment. Don't miss the chance to save big and also get the financing that you need on the Kubota equipment that you need. They're celebrating Kubota Orange Days at Amigo Power Equipment in Edinburgh on Monte Cristo.
Pain management specialist Dr. Dennis Slavin on shoulder pain.
Our website is feelingbetteratLast.com because that's what people say as they leave my office. They really are feeling better at last. Hi, I'm Dr. Dennis Slavin with some solid advice on achy shoulders. Shoulder pain is very common, very severe, and often interferes with activities we enjoy, such as golf, tennis, fishing, doing chores, or even daily tasks like combing our hair. The good news is that most of the time, office-based, image-guided treatments provide superb pain relief, and followed by a specific home exercise program can prevent the pain from returning, so you can be be feeling better at last. Patients are amazed by the pain relief. They wonder why they waited so long to be feeling better at last. That's really the key phrase, what I specialize in. I'm good at getting you feeling better at last.
With offices in McAllen and Weslaco, Dr. Dennis Slavin is only a phone call away, and many say it's the best call they've ever made. Call 956-973-0565. 973-0565.
This is Joe Cordell. Cordell & Cordell is the nation's largest family law firm, but we're more than just size. We're part of your community. With offices across the country, our attorneys and staff live and work right where you do. And because we're local, we know.
Listen to Sergio Sanchez every morning on News Talk 710 KURV and on the Radio Parami app. Stay informed with exclusive interviews from top local and state leaders, plus economic development news, business, and medical reports, and all the local news from the RGV. It's everything you need to know to start your day right. Sergio Sanchez and News Talk 710 KURV.